Before I get into this, I want to ask you, why for weeks did we have a story about some foreign country that most Americans don't even know exists, about a plane that was missing, and it was all plastered all over the news for weeks. Why do we care? And if it's a story about a plane that's missing, is the story actually real? Could it be that they made up the entire story? I'm here to tell you it's very possible and very likely that the entire incident was completely made up. For what purpose? To see if the American population is dumb enough to fall for a completely made up story. Completely fake news. Now, we've caught CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, all doing fake stories. Not only have we caught them, there's an entire watchdog group that does nothing but double checks to see if stories are actually real and factual. They have upwards of 300 counts of fake stories on all of the channels. 300 each. Now let's get down to this Malaysia Airline that was shot down supposedly over the Ukraine with 295 passengers. I want to ask you, before we even get into that, do you think the story is even real? I want you to sit back for a second. How many people on the planet are aware that there is a war zone going on in the Ukraine, Crimea, in that area? Okay, how many people do you think who are tasked with the safety of passengers work for the airline, the Malaysian Airways? Probably hundreds, right? If not thousands, right? Do you think that they would put the passengers of a Malaysian Airways in harm's way? And if so, why? And if so, who dropped the ball? Who would fly a passenger airplane over a war zone? It doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's pretend the story is actually true. Then they get into the plane was shot down. Now the question is, who shot down the plane? Could it be the rebels? The rebels say, no, we don't have the capability because the plane was supposedly at 10,000 feet, if not 20,000 or 30,000 feet, right? So then we're going to have to get to military armed people. That leaves the EU, NATO, Ukraine, and Russia. Now they're pointing fingers at Russia. Why they're pointing fingers at Russia? That's exactly what the picture is about. Exactly what the picture is about. Why would Russia shoot down a Malaysian plane, passenger plane? If you have the capability of shooting down a plane at 10,000 feet, you have the capability of first identifying the object. That you don't just shoot at 10,000 feet. You have to identify, in able to target the plane, you have to be able to identify it first. Why would Russia shoot down a Malaysian plane? Not only that, they would probably know when the plane departed. Russia is not dealing in the third world technology. They're not dealing in 1800s technology. They are up to date. And at one point, they were above U.S. technology militarily. Huh? Oh, you didn't hear about that probably, right? You think America's number one. Yes, I'm being sarcastic because a lot of people in the United States are just plain foolish. They think everybody else is throwing rocks at tanks. I doubt that even that report in Iraq was true about the guy throwing rocks at tanks. But anyway, why would Russia shoot down a Malaysian plane? They would have absolutely no reason to. They can identify when the plane took off, who was on board, everything. So then it leaves Ukraine and NATO and the EU and the United States, probably CIA. And they're doing it to blame Russia so they can get this, they could get the ball rolling, right? Get those banksters some money. Get this war going. When World War III starts, I want to point to this. I want you to point to this video and that picture. I want you to say, see here, Shikama told you. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.